Hi, everybody. This is Ken Wilson. Once upon a time, I broadcast blues hockey. I always listen to Let's Go Blues Radio. It's everything you'll want as a blues fan. Oh, baby.
Are you a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues Radio listener? Of course you are. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call real estate superstar Mike Burgoyne today at 314-753-4060 or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com to earn special rates today.
Cut out the coffee, cut out those energy drinks that make you crash, and put yourself in a position to succeed with an energy boost from RockinThatIDLife.com. You'll be energized, focused, and you'll even experience an elevated mood for up to 6 hours. Check out RockinThatIDLife.com to learn more.
Get ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
The Blues score! Oh, baby! The Blues score! McKinnon shoots and scores! Portnoy ahead to Hall. He's got a breakaway. Maybe he scores! Oh, baby, do you believe it? Scores in a drive. He scores! Baby, Chris Pronger! Wow, what great goaltending! The Twister! Jacob hits the hit. Sellout crowd. Oh, baby!
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
Welcome to episode 21 of season 14. This is episode number 502 all-time of the often imitated, never duplicated. Think of your children pledging allegiance to the Maple Leaf. Mayonnaise on everything. Winter 11 months of the year. Anne Murray all day, every day. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Is that how you wanted me to read it, Bill?
That was perfect. It's the news anchor voice.
Yep. Canadian Bacon, for those of you who've never seen it. Great freaking movie that I think is very underrated.
Very underrated, and so many insane, quotes from a movie that was, mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Some of these quotes are insane.
Yep. Good stuff.
So apropos to today, the American people, Mr. Smiley, would never buy this. Mr. President, the American people will buy whatever we tell them to.
Great stuff. Check out the Let's Go Blues Minute wherever you get podcasts. Speaking of things that American people will buy, it's free, so I guess you won't be buying it. It provides you with a daily look into the St. Louis Blues in a quick hit fashion. Smash that subscribe button. It's Thursday, February 20th, and we're streaming live to the masses. Make sure to follow us on socials at LGB Radio and follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube and Facebook. I'm your host, Jeff Ponder. I'm joined, of course, by Bill Day. Kurt Price is facing allegations. Rumors are that he's converting to Canadianism. So, let's hope that's not really the case. The agenda for tonight includes a preview into tonight's massive four nations face-off final, some Blues news, and more on this maple syrup-tastic episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Again, I'm joined by Bill. We missed you last week, but I imagine you have been pretty tuned in to the Four Nations face-off, correct?
Oh, yes. I have watched pretty near every second of it. And, can't wait to talk about that game from Saturday night. Oh my God. I've never seen anything like it.
No. I mean, and we've watched hockey a long time. I mean, you've been a fan since what, early 80s?
Late 70s.
Late 70s, yeah. And, I've been a fan since pretty much the late 80s, most notably early 90s was when I really got nuts into hockey. And talk about not having fights in hockey. 3 fights in 9 seconds. Holy shit, that was nuts.
Including one with Colton Parayko.
Yeah, and throwing haymakers.
Oh, that was
beauty.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
We will.
Yeah.
So, and I'll add, I have not missed a game. I've been hooked, even like the Sweden-Finland game when I don't have a horse in the fight. You know, I'm not rooting for my Blues players. I'm not rooting for Team USA. I was still like,
I'm all Team Sweden tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Bill's all Team Sweden. He was proud of that win on Monday night for Sweden.
No, just bad fashion choice today.
Yeah, right. No, I'm rocking my second Team USA jersey. But I gotta admit, and we'll talk about this, in a little bit, but I don't know if I'm fully rooting for USA. I will say, I think what I said on Saturday, I'm rooting for a 1-0 Team USA win with Jordan Binnington making 97 saves. Like, that would be ideal to me. And Colton Parayko with 15 shots on goal. Like, all the best for the Blues players, but I guess part of me does hope they lose.
After all, Connor Hellebuck is in net in a game that matters, so choke time.
Yeah, probably. We'll see. And I'll say, so one thing that's interesting for me that's happened with this tournament is, so Saturday night, and I think I told you guys this over our Slack channel, Saturday night, I actually stupidly made plans like a month ago, not even thinking about checking the schedule to see that was the Canada-US game a month in advance. We all, who really looks at their calendar that far in advance? I guess smart people do.
True hockey fans.
Yeah, right. And so we had plans to go out with some friends and see the new Captain America movie. And right when I realized, I was like, oh, God, we need to get out of this. And I mentioned it to my wife, and she's like, no, we are going. You're the one who planned it. And I'm like, God damn it. So somehow I've got a text chain with a bunch of my hockey guys. There was about 80 text messages that came in that night. I had my phone on silent. Obviously, I was at a movie. And then I think you had even messaged the group and was like, the start of this game is insane. I did see that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. And like, I'm sitting there in the theater like, oh, my God. And I thought, you know what? I am going, and I made the decision in the theater because I was like, there's no way I'm not going to be able to avoid it. I'll just have to watch the replay and know what happened. I decided that. I'm like, you know what? No social media, no texting, nothing. I am radio silent tonight. I'm going to tell the other guys that I'm with tonight. No telling me what happened in the game. Luckily, they were good. I got home. Wife and I hung out for about an hour. Went to bed. I woke up at 3 a.m. because it was like Sportsnet replayed the game. And I was actually able to watch the game in its entirety without knowing what happened. I was amazed. That never happens anymore. So, yeah.
That's impressive.
The worst part, though, is like, it's like 4:30 in the morning.
And you can't scream, holy shit,
I can't yell because I don't want to wake anyone up. And I'm like, oh, like I'm sitting there like literally when US scores, I'm like, like it was crazy, but it was awesome. It was worth it. I'm glad I was able to watch the game and not know what happened.
They just took the ice for warm-ups.
Yep. So right now I'm looking at it. Looks like in Bill. So I'm doing some remodeling down here. So I do not have my direct view to the TV. I got my other TV over here. I will not be looking as closely tonight. So you might need to keep me updated if we're getting close to game time.
Yep. 44-32. We got a ways to go right now.
Sounds good. Yep. We're I think we can do it. We'll see. So let's get into beers of episode number 502. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. You can find me at jponner94, Kurt is cprice12, and Bill is at Billy Blue Note 33. I will lead us off, and it's in honor, not of tonight's game, but of a game that will be occurring Saturday night.
Over here.
Over here, camera 2. The City Pilsner from Four Hands Brewing Company, the dry hopped Pilsner. It is the obviously named after the St. Louis City football team.
Is that formerly Parker Pils?
Formerly Parker Pilsner. Yes, it's the exact same beer. They just removed Parker, which I don't know. I get it. Obviously, he's not part of the team anymore, but I think it still would have killed if they would have just kept the Parker name on it. I don't know, maybe he didn't want to be associated with it anymore. I don't know, but either way, it's still a good beer. It's a great soccer beer. So yeah, if you have not gone to Schnucks or I don't know, Friar Tuck and picked any of this up, I recommend it so you can be ready for the game Saturday. What a sports night Saturday night, by the way. Blues and Jets, and then we got the opener for City. So that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a hopping week sports-wise. And,
Yep.
I got a birthday next week, so I may try to actually get to a game, work allowing. I think Kraken are in town. Wouldn't mind catching them live.
Let me know if you would like some company, because I'd be probably into going to see a game soon. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll
Kraken are on Tuesday.
Talk about that. Yeah, which happens to be my birthday. So.
Oh, there it is. All right, very nice. Well, you're taking a sip of your beer there, Bill. What are you drinking?
Oh, so yeah, she's a Bigfoot, Gus. It's the Sierra Nevada Bigfoot barley wine style ale. I get a 6-pack of this every year it comes out. One of my favorites. I love a good barley wine. Although I will have to say that I think the Friday the 13th from Excel Brewing and Breeze is probably my favorite barley wine. But this is pretty close, and I have a Sasquatch theme going in the outdoors of my house. So I have a couple of metal Sasquatches hiding in my pine trees in my backyard, and a couple other Sasquatch-related things. Just I was obsessed as a kid, so anything Sasquatch, Bigfoot, I'm all about it.
I'm looking pretty Sasquatch myself right now. So
you are.
You're not getting too excited.
Yeah.
I got a big old. This is probably the longest I've had my beard since the playoff run in 2019. I haven't shaved since November, so pretty long time.
Yeah, it's so much better than mine. My terrible beer. Keep threatening to go straight mustache, but Julie says she'll get rid of me if I do.
So unfortunately, I'm going to miss our big sports night Saturday night. But it's for a trivia night that we have every year. And there's always a theme. And this year it's around the world. And so we're decorating our table and us like French, like the French people. I figured you would appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
And
me, monsieur.
So I did tell my wife tonight that I want to shave and then do the twisty mustache. And she was like, absolutely not. She's like, I am all for going all out and getting crazy. It's like, if you want to carry around a baguette and ride around on a bicycle, I'm okay with that. But no twisty mustache. And I'm like, okay, that's fair.
That's no fun, Jess.
No fun at all. All right, let's get into some hockey talk. We got a couple things going on that we want to mention here in the first segment before we get into talking about tonight's big game. Excuse me. Zach Bolduc was recalled from the Springfield Thunderbirds. If you remember last week, Kurt and I discussed him going down to Springfield just to get some reps in, playing time, practice time, and then obviously games in as well. So they have officially called him back up as practices have already begun for the Blues the last couple days. He's been back skating with the team. Bolduc did play in 4 games and recorded 2 assists in that time. I did not see them myself, but I know one of them was on an empty net goal for Hugh McKean. And then he must have scored another one at some point. So no goals for Bolduc, but obviously contributing to the offense there in Springfield. So yeah, I mean, nothing really to write home about. Nothing exciting. It's like it never happened because the Blues have not played a game. But
right,
clearly just protocol to make sure their young guys are getting reps.
Right. Don't go to Mexico and get an STD. Play some hockey.
We know what Bill did during the break. So very uneasy transition to talking about something terrible in the hockey world. Mike Lang, the legendary Pittsburgh Penguins broadcaster, he passed away at the age of 76. Why are we mentioning a Penguins broadcaster passing away? Well, it's hockey related, but he is a guy that is very well known around the hockey community. He was a play-by-play voice. He called 5 Stanley Cup championships over 46 years in a Hall of Fame career. So yes, he is part of the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's won numerous awards. People in Pittsburgh just adore him. He's known. He's if you don't know who Mike Lang is, I guarantee you've heard his calls. He was the radio guy for up until about 5-6 years ago. His big one with Crosby is "Slap Me Silly, Sidney" when he scores. He has very weird ones like "He smoked him like a cheap cigar." Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building. Calls like that.
My favorite was "Scratch my back with a hacksaw."
Yep. I will admit, I was never a big Mike Lang fan. It's just not my type of play calling for me. The silliness, sure, I'm okay with it, but I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan. And maybe it was just his voice. I don't know. But I mean, I respected the man. And something I always say about him, as opposed to the idiot in Boston that just retired.
Jack
Edwards. Yeah. Like Jack Edwards, I look at it and I'm like, I hate him, and I don't understand how anyone, even in Boston, can like this guy. But the difference with Mike Lang is I say, he's not for me, and I'm not just saying this because he passed. I always respected him because I'm like, he has an interesting way of calling the game. He's trying something new and different, and it's working. And clearly Pittsburgh loved his calls. So clearly, even though I'm not his biggest fan, that is a huge loss in the hockey community. And RIP to Mike Lang. And obviously we send our condolences to the Pittsburgh Penguins organization, as well as anyone who knew or loved Mike Lang.
Yeah, no, for me, I liked him. He was an original. He's light years better than the clown show that they had with Bob Stegerwald and Bob Airey. And I think they even have moved on. They had, who was it? Steve Mears came in, I think, after that, and they've moved on from him. I don't think they've had a better play-by-play guy since Lang, moved to the radio and then retired from the radio. But they had such a great thing with, before with Doc Emmerich. It's just, it's sad to see. Favorite thing, Mike Lang, if you aren't familiar with him, want to look him up and get a feel for him. Obviously look at some of his play calls, but when the Penguins did the reenactment of Christmas Vacation a couple years ago, he did a spot on Uncle Lewis.
Yep. Yeah, he was great.
The blessing.
Yep. The blessing. That's great. And yeah, I mean, so many legendary calls. I mean, if you just look up like Penguins highlights from the 90s, even, you're going to hear Mike Lang's calls. I would say Mike Lang is probably top. I don't know, man. I probably can't say this without being 100% certain, but I'd say at least top 10 play callers of all time in the NHL. I mean, he's, again, Hockey Hall of Famer and just absolutely beloved by Penguins fans. And then I know even like Flyers fans that are like, oh, I love Mike Lang. He's the best.
Yeah. And total original. He's, from previous generation, and happy that I was able to witness some of his play calls in their prime. But yeah, he's probably in there. Top 10, top 15 for sure.
Yep, for sure. Well, we are going to go to break, but to lead us into break, we are going to have a quick moment of silence for the loss of a hockey legend, not on the ice, but in the broadcast booth, Mike Lang of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
We'll return after these messages.
As a hockey player, Mike Burgoyne knows a thing or two about making the perfect play. And when it comes to real estate, he's always ready to score the winning goal for his clients. If you're a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues radio listener looking to score the home of your dreams, you'll receive special rates with Mike. Go ahead, shoot some questions his way, and he'll have the answer quicker than Curtis Joseph on a breakaway.
Curtis Joseph got the paddle down.
Any barriers? Mike will mow them down like Chris Pronger in front of the net. He'll score you your dream home or sell your existing home faster than a Brett Hall one-timer.
Put past the Hall. He shoots. He scores.
See Burgoyne's real estate prowess in action today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or by calling 314-753-4060. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com, and that phone number is 314-753-4060. Getting Mike Burgoyne on your team will be the boost your power play needs.
Hey guys, it's Jeff. You know, the fun, energetic host of Let's Go Blues Radio. I know I give off a natural energy and cheerful glow, but as I've gotten older, I've realized I need a kick in the pants to get going. I've tried it all, from forcing myself to drink coffee to picking up an energy drink every morning, but none of it provided true, sustainable energy without crash. Luckily, my friend Dustin at RockinThatIDLife.com told me about their product, Energy, which provides exactly what I need. The first thing I do every morning is fill up my shaker bottle with water and a small energy packet, and within minutes of drinking it, my day truly begins. I feel motivated to get going on my work and feel the mental focus take effect as I dive into what I'm doing. I don't crash, and I feel like $1,000,000 throughout the day. Reach out to Dustin today to experience how much better your professional life can be. Email him at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and get $10 off your first order. That's rockinthatidlife.com, and that email again is rockinthatidlife@gmail.com. Don't let a lack of energy keep you from being who you want to be.
Yes, and as you can see, there are a lot of different ways to stamp out thirst with refreshing Stag beer. Now, one of the most popular is this handy six-pack. People like the six-pack because it saves space in the refrigerator, lets them keep more good, cold Stag beer on hand. And you know, when you've got Stag on hand, you've got a mess.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
All right, Bill, it's time. I just realized, why are our names not appearing?
That's a good question. I blame former producer Austin.
Yes,
he's hacking.
I agree. Clearly his fault.
He's hacking us.
I have no idea. That is very odd, but I guess it's not the end of the world. Oh well, I'm trying to mess with it, but nothing seems to be coming up.
I mean, I don't think they'll confuse us with Kurt, so I think we're okay.
I think so too. Well, yeah. So we've got the big game coming up. It's all coming down to this. It's I have here in the notes, Bill, a rematch of one of the most exciting games in the tournament so far, which was a 3-1 win for the U.S. on Saturday night. Not just of the tournament, of recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
This game's huge. I was at work today, and I had people, and I do not work with hockey fans. We're all over the country, and most people I work with, I would say, well, okay, at least people I'm close with, are not sports fans at all. I had people today asking me, are you watching the game? You know, where can I watch it? Who do you think's going to win? And I'm like, you care? Like, I've never known you to care. But Saturday was such a big, giant spectacle. And for those that didn't tune into it, saw the highlights and were like, whoa, this is hockey. This is cool. So, yeah, I think we're going to see we'll get the ratings probably at some point next week. But I'm going to guarantee that they are going to be some high numbers for ESPN viewers.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the rating share for this game is. First, the U.S. men's national team game, which unfortunately got scheduled the same night.
Oh,
I'm thinking that game's going to get crushed, especially if there's a start anywhere close to what we had Saturday. I don't think we'll ever see that again in our lifetimes. Maybe in
No,
20 years when somebody's trying to recreate that moment or force that moment
when
again.
it's the Kachuk grandsons
Right.
trying to recreate that moment. There'll be like a team of Kachucks. There'll be like 9 of them. Yeah, I just unbelievable. Again, I mentioned that, you know, I had to watch this game late at night. Well, I guess early in the morning on Sunday. And like, I mean, I was half awake, you know, clearly when I was watching it. And instantly when the gloves dropped, it was in Matthew was first, right?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, okay, this is a big deal. And then when Brady dropped him, I was already standing up. I was like, I'm awake. Okay, you got my attention, Kachucks. You know, and then like you said earlier, the Colton Parayko and JT Miller. I mean, that was when because I originally, when I don't know if you heard the maybe it was just on actually because I was watching Sportsnet. So on the Sportsnet broadcast, the announcer even said, he goes, before the Brady Kachuk fight, like he was like, oh, and Parayko's looking like he's wanting to go with somebody. And I was like, who are you watching, sir? And then Kachuk fights, and then yeah, the very next play, Colton Parayko gets into it. And I'm like, oh, I guess he is gonna fight. So I mean, clearly a lot of emotion, and a lot of it was showmanship. It was, you know, let's do. I mean, they even said it afterward, like, you know, let's really get this game going. And
Yeah.
so that was just, oh, perfect
Yeah.
way to start the game.
Right. And I thought, you know, I was actually happy for the third fight. Usually I'm like, oh, come on, guys. Right.
Let's play hockey.
But this, you know, this like showing emotion. And the third fight to me, the Parayko JT Miller fight, really brought it in. You know, that at that point there was some hockey played. No, only 9 seconds of it, but there was a little bit of hockey played, and the emotions were still high. And Parayko, you know, he danced.
Yep.
Miller threw the gloves first, and I thought, you know, Parayko's gonna let him take a penalty, and nope, he dropped them and went. And I thought that was just I was just dumbfounded in that moment. Like I was awestruck with what I was witnessing. And
Yep.
God, what a start.
We got a question here. Actually, congratulations to SAF 123122. Let's see, SAF. We'll call him Saffron. He's just mad about Saffron. Saffron asks in Twitch. That's right. We are now streaming on Twitch, folks. First show ever for that. Are you guys going to show the game? Because I'm desperately trying to find somewhere I can watch it for free. Man, I feel like I probably should not say this, but I would suggest your best bet is going to be NHL66.ir. Check that out. I'm not sure where you're at, but I would imagine NHL66.ir should have the game. If
He's
it,
clearly Irish.
yeah,
So
right. It's an Irish one. Yeah. It's legal. Yeah, I hate to do that because I know we're not supposed to, but I really want to help a fan out because this is clearly a massive game. It's on ESPN, so if you have a way of accessing ESPN, obviously go that route. But wanting to help out a fellow hockey fan who wants to watch this game, and welcome. That's a new first time. No, wait, what do I usually say? That's a new live listener. So thank you, Saffron.
So you keep adding channels and we keep getting more people.
How about it? We're up to like 4 views an episode now. It's crazy. 3
we might keep going for another, 498 episodes to get to 1,000.
That's right. Yeah, obviously the crazy start to that game. Something that I wanted to bring up was our 2 Blues players in the game. Obviously, Jordan Binnington. He has been in net for all 3 games for Canada. He is getting the start tonight. He is the only goaltender in the tournament to start every game for his country. He is 2-1-0. Well, I guess technically by their standings, because overtime wins are usually in the second column because they have the 3-point structure. He's technically 1-1-0-0. Wait, no.
No,
How am I
he's
saying
been
that
in
right?
3 games.
1-1-1-0 is what he is. Yeah, but for all intents and purposes, he's 2-1-0, 2.6 GAA, 892 save percentage. He's recorded the second best numbers of all goalies in the tournament, trailing only Connor Hellebuck. Now, if you were to fact check me, you would see that like Jonathan Erison has better numbers, but he cleared in 1 game. So let's talk about these guys that have played 2, which there's a couple of them. There's at least 4. And then Bennington has a chance to win the Four Nations with Canada, where he hoisted the Stanley Cup in 2019 on June 12th. That is in TD Garden in Boston. So that has been a comparison that I've seen a lot today of, hey, the last time Jordan Bennington had a winner-take-all game in Boston at TD Garden, let's remember what he did. So we'll see what he does. And obviously, U.S. hockey fans are not wanting to see him do that again, but would not be surprised to see big game Jordan Bennington come out for this one.
Yeah, 100%. That is the storyline that I'm looking for. Looking at most closely tonight. I think, he's been okay. Can't say that he's stolen a game, but his overtime performance in that's the first game against Sweden when they came back. Oh my God, that was vintage Bennington. And I was getting excited. Know you have some of the quotes on from his teammates in here, so let's get to that. But I'm hoping that we get to see the Jordan Bennington from Game 7 in Boston. I not that I'm rooting against the US, but I want my team's goalie, my current favorite goalie in the league, who's had a rough year, to have a magical game tonight.
Well, let's face it, as Blues fans, you think if he comes out and wins this and plays very, very well, I mean, what could that do for his confidence going into the rest of the season? Yes, obviously, as Americans, we want to see the U.S. win, but as Blues fans, not exactly the worst thing that could happen. I fully agree. I don't think he's been great, but I don't think he's really needed to be. First of all, I have not liked a lot of Canada's defensive play in this tournament. I feel like they have the personnel to be playing a lot better than they have. I thought they were okay in the U.S. game, but everyone said that he's allowed a weak goal in every game. I don't know if that's true. I think his game against Finland, I thought he played really well. That comeback they had at the end, first of all, Mikael Granlund had a hell of a tournament. He scored the last 2 goals. I thought every one of those goals was legit. I'm like, man, I mean, maybe the first goal you say Bennington needs to come out of his crease, challenge, and cut off the angle. But I thought he was playing it well, and I thought that that shot should have never gotten through and was never taken in the first place. And then I thought the last 2 by Granlund were just beauty goals by Finland. So I don't know if you disagree, but like that was my take. I really liked his game against Finland on Monday.
Yeah, I will tell you that I watched this game in 2 separate viewings, and the first viewing, like I knew Canada was gonna win, and I stopped when I forgot it was 4-1. And so I was shocked to later learn that the game had gotten to 4-3 before Canada got the empty net goal. And when I went back, I thought that they weren't goals that I would fault him for, but one of those things is like, my thought was I would love to see him lock it down in a game like this, but at the end of the day, he had enough to win, and that was good. So tonight, I would love to see him airtight, right?
Yeah.
I want the U.S. to win, but if they're not going to, I want it to be because Jordan Bennington finds his magic.
100%. And I'll say, if I'm rooting for a USA 1-0 win with Jordan Bennington making 97 saves, give me that all day, and I'll be happy. No, and I'll agree with you. I mean, obviously, you want your goalie to step up and be that Game 7, 2019 Jordan Binnington. But, at the same time, these guys are human. They're not going to have that crazy game saving. And again, with a 4-0 lead, you're pretty comfortable. Finland was just, there was no defense for They literally had 6 forwards on the ice at one point. So they were pressing. They were really pressing Canada. And so, yeah, you want to see Jordan just lock it down and just absolutely nothing is getting past me mode. But I don't know. Again, I just look at it. I'm like, Canada, they kind of took their foot off the pedal. Finland, they just let Finland keep coming at them. And I just thought, man, he's playing about as well as his teammates are. And again, not bad, but, good enough to get a win. And in these games, a lot of times, that's all you need from your goalie. So we'll see how he plays tonight. But I do think we will see a little bit more airtight Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of the quotes. The one, so there's 2 that we've got here. I'll go ahead and read them both real quick. Colton Parayko mentioned talking about Jordan Binnington today. He said, quote, he's always been big in big moments, just the type of person he is. He's always ready. He's always there, always gives us a chance to win. We've been into Game 7 here in Boston before. Obviously, it went our way, and it was a big part of that, and he was a big part of that. I'm excited to watch him again have a big one Thursday. He's a gamer, so he's always ready. And then I loved reading this, as much as I hate this guy. Brad Marchand gave a very nice, had some very nice things to say about Binnington. Obviously, he's his teammate. He's not going to, shit talk him, but he didn't have to go into detail, and he did. And I really appreciate his comments here. He says, quote, he's awesome. He's such a competitor. I think that's the biggest thing. You see him, the way he focuses in the room, even practice today, just his attitude. He has the drive and the confidence to want to be the best. He has the confidence you want in your goalie. I actually had this conversation with him the other night. When you have a goalie that has confidence like he does, it gives the entire group confidence. You feed off that. It gives you a sense of calmness, and it bleeds throughout the lineup and throughout the group. It's been incredible to have him back there. Some of the saves he's made in this tournament, you're going to watch them for years and years and years. It's awesome to play with him. So many again, like he could have just been like, oh yeah, Jordan's been a rock. He's been great. Excellent teammate. Like he went into detail about how much he's enjoying playing with Jordan Binnington. So, for a guy who we all gave shit to in 2019 for his line change, clearly has some very nice things to say about his current Canadian goaltender.
Yeah, and you wonder where Brad Marchand would score, like on an emotional intelligence test. I think it would be super high. Like the guy knows like the moment, right? He that is one thing he is always, as the pest that he's been in his career. He knows when to pick his spots. He knows what to say. And breaking news, the Blues have just traded Braden Shen and Jordan Kyrou and acquired Brad Marchand. I'm kidding.
Oh my God, dude, that blew my mind.
No, but when you read that quote, it's like, fuck, bring him into this locker room, right? Isn't that what this team's missing? Is that kind of emotion and well, not emotion, but just like, perspective that could help zone this team in.
He's a free agent.
I hate that I'm thinking that could be the deal.
Free
the
agent
rumors
at the end of
with
the year.
Braden Shen.
Yeah, you never know. That'd be interesting. I've seen some people say, is this a precursor to Marchand signing here over the summer? I don't think so, and I don't honestly. He's on the wrong side of 30, but who knows? That'd be interesting.
He will only go to contender. I totally see him signing in Toronto like that. That would be a total Marchand move. But yeah,
if there's any Bruins fans listening right now, they are cursing you.
They always do anyway, so I don't care.
Yep, that's true.
No, that's high praise from Brad Marchand, who I begrudgingly respect at a master of his craft.
Yep, agree 100%. Real quick rundown of the games that we've seen so far from these two teams. USA, they are 2-1. They won 6-1 over Finland, 3-1 over Canada in that big game. And then Monday, they lost to Sweden 2-1. Canada Wednesday, last Wednesday, that is. They lost, they won 4-3 in overtime versus Sweden, lost to the USA on Saturday, and then on Monday, they had the big 5-3 win over Finland. The last game on Monday for the US, they were riddled with injuries. Now, some of it was precautionary because they'd already booked their ticket to the final. So it was like they're not really too worried about that game. They didn't even start Hellebuck. They played Ottinger, who, by the way, we're not going to play Vezina winner Hellebuck. We're going to play Vezina finalist Ottinger. Like,
right.
Jesus.
Right. There's been a lot of focus lately and talk about how Canada's goaltending depth is in goaltending is just, it's terrible. Like throughout every level, they are so far below other countries right now in developing top tier goaltenders.
I have a theory. On that. And tell me if you have thought about this, why that is the case right now. My theory is that, I don't think it was like a totally front of mind thought from these other countries, but like I specifically look at Finland, the US, Sweden, and yes, even Russia. Their goalie development has been ridiculous. And it makes me wonder if in some way, with the high-powered offense that Canada has always had since the 80s, at least, was it a way of, hey, we're not going to outgun teams like Canada and even Russia back in the day. We need to work on our defensive play and our goaltending. And the goaltending across the world has gotten, and Canada too. I mean, I think maybe this is just a weird lull in terms of Canadian development for goaltenders. But right now, Canada is lacking. I mean, say what you want about Binnington. He's the best of the worst in terms of the countries in goaltending right now. And I wonder if it's something to do with, like, back in the early 2000s, the U.S. being like, we're not going to outgun Canada. Let's develop goaltending so we can beat them in net. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah. I am a frequenter of r/hockey goalie on Reddit, and this was a topic of conversation here recently. And one of the prevailing thoughts is that it is a result of Canadian teams not employing goaltending coaches on each team. If you want goaltending coaching, you have to go private. You have to go pay to get access to what a whole bunch of people are getting access to. And the teams themselves don't put any focus on goaltending. They might have a guy that covers defense and goaltending, but not just goaltending. So that is a big criticism of the current state of Canadian junior hockey. And I'll be interested to see if that does start to change. I feel like the heyday of Canadian goaltending was, the development of Butterfly and, people, the Patrick Roy, Martin Brodeurs, Felix Potvins coming out of Quebec. And there was just this feeling for a long time that Quebec had the corner of the market on goaltending. And that is not the case at all anymore. And
No.
I think that, if Canada is going to make changes, they're going to have to start instituting dedicated goaltending coaches in every level.
Yep. So I am a couple seconds behind you right now. I've got the players coming on the ice, so we are getting closer to game time. Just want to ask you very quickly, surprise player of the tournament. I know it's kind of putting you on the spot. Is there anybody that comes to mind? And I'll answer first, so that way you have some time to think about it. I don't want to even say this is a surprise, but a player that a lot of people, like in the locker room last night at my hockey game, somebody asked me, who is Zach Werenski? And I was like, oh, he's a defenseman for the Blue Jackets. Well, I've never heard of him. And I started watching this tournament. Holy shit, that guy's good. And I'm like, yeah, he's hidden in Columbus. That's unfortunately what happens. But yeah, I would say Zach Werenski. Again, I don't know if I want to say he's a surprise player because I think we all knew he was good. But I mean, right now he is second in the tournament. I'm sorry, he's tied for first in the tournament in points with Sidney Crosby. He has 5 assists. Crosby has 1 goal and 4 assists. So clearly, Zach Werenski, this might be his coming out party.
Yeah, like most players in Columbus history, not going to spend his entire career there, and there's going to be a bidding war when it's time for him to move on.
Yeah,
I mean, we got to watch him. You know, we've got to see him, and I've paid attention to when the Blues play him, and the Blues struggle against Columbus, and he's a big part of the reason. This year, you'd have to say it was their top line dominating all of our lines, but no, he's been good. The players, the 2 things that come to mind for me for the U.S., Matt Boldy. I was not a fan of him being included on this roster. I thought there were plenty of other players that they could have taken in his stead, but they didn't. And he's impressed me. He's shown that he can step up. Got to give hope to the Wild fans that he's going to make an impact. And then goaltending wise, the guy that I think who's having a great year all around, and I think Finland wishes they would have gone with from the get-go, is Kevin Lankinen. He played a lot better than UC Saros.
Yes, he did. And I'll admit, I've said for years, I am not a big believer in Saros. I don't know. I just feel like he's too leaky. He's, great one game, and then he's fucking terrible the next game. And by the way, I think earlier I called him John Arison, Sam Arison, from the, John Erickson is who I was thinking of.
In Sweden.
Yeah. But anyway, I was very shocked I'll admit, when they put in Lankinen, I thought, oh my God, he even made the team. But then watching him, I'm like, oh, he's pretty sound. Like, not bad at all. So, he might be their starter next year in the Olympics.
Yeah, he is proving to be a very capable 1B to the oft-injured Thatcher Demko in Vancouver.
Yep, agree. One more player I wanted to mention, and I mentioned his name earlier, Mikael Granlund. We've all known him. He's a veteran. He's a guy that's been around for a long time, but man, his speed really showed for Finland, and you could tell he was giving it all. He was leaving everything on the ice, so I always respect players that can do that. Where are we at on game time, Bill? Is the game started yet?
So Mike Eruzione is wearing a Johnny Gaudreau jersey, fist bumping everybody. We're close.
Okay, we are close. So let's go ahead and do a quick next up for the Blues. Saturday, February 22nd, the Blues return to action. They play Winnipeg at 7 o'clock. Sunday, February 23rd, they are back in St. Louis again for their, 5th game of the homestand. 5 o'clock start on that one. And then Tuesday, February 25th, which we all know is Bill's birthday. Seattle at 7 o'clock. And then they will travel after that Thursday, February 27th. They are in Washington. I did not look this up, but I'm pretty sure that's their last Eastern Conference game of the season. So
they have Montreal. Montreal's in town March 25th, Tuesday night.
One of their last
I'll be there.
Eastern Conference games of the season. Let's just say that for sure. All right, so we are getting to the end of the show here. Any comments you want to leave for us, please go ahead and do it now. Bill, I hate doing predictions. You hate doing predictions. So let's do predictions. What's happening tonight?
I think that ultimately it's all the chips are going to stack up in Canada's favor in this game. U.S. is injured. Bennington's in a must-win, winner-take-all game. Connor McDavid, Cale Makar. We didn't talk about that. Cale Makar didn't play in the first game. He's healthy in this game. That's going to be huge for Canada.
Mm-hmm. Matt MLO12 says, I don't want Bitter to be the reason Canada loses. I don't want them to be able to keep using him as a crutch. I mean, even that Gensel 5-hole was a pretty nasty shot. Bitter probably should have had it, but I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I agree. That was one you want Benner to have if you're a Blues fan.
That's a carbon copy of the Sidney Crosby goal on Ryan Miller.
Yeah, that's actually
from 2010.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, no, I think overall Binnington's been fine. I think he's been top 3 goalies, and I know we've only seen 7 goalies in the tournament, but I'd put him in the top 3. I think he's played very well. I actually put Lankinen up there with Hellebuck. So, and again, he's the only goalie that is starting in 4 games in this entire tournament. So that is pretty good. So good for him. And for my prediction, I think U.S. comes out on top. It's not going to be 1-0 with 98 shots against for the U.S., but I do think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be a 3-2 finish U.S. I hope it goes to overtime, but if it doesn't, I do think it'll be a regulation win. But still, a 3-2 final is mine. What was your final score? You said Canada comes out on top.
I didn't give one, but I'm going to say 6-4 Canada.
Oh, high scoring. Okay.
I think it's going to get high scoring.
You think Hellebuck's going to be falling apart in this one, huh?
I do.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Yeah. Well, wouldn't surprise me one bit. All right. Any closing thoughts from you, Bill?
No, let's go watch this fucking game.
I agree. And folks, you can expect our next show probably next Wednesday, the 26th. The last 2 weeks has been a little crazy for us, and that's why we've been doing these pregame shows, which are still fun. I enjoy doing these. Yeah, so we will be back probably to our regularly scheduled program next week. Bill, thanks for joining me, and we will hopefully see you next week.
Yeah, the beginning of my last year of 40s.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah, your next show, oh my Lord. Woo. I'm going to be 40 in April, so I'm not
only 10 years behind.
That. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Well, thanks to our amazing sponsors, StrikeWithMike.com and RockinThatIDLife.com. That'll wrap up episode 14 of season 21 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in YouTube and Facebook live chats during the show, and Twitch. Thank you, Twitchers, as well. We'll talk with you next week. For Bill Day and Kirk Price, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues, USA!
USA! USA!
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at fourth.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to #1. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite a hockey team, my friend.